Okay, I have some thoughts about the first Throne of Glass. So I'm about 80% of the way through the book, and I actually would say I like it better than the first Avatar. So when it comes to like the plot, I'm mostly following what's going on. I was starting to read it for like multiverse purposes, but I feel like that's not entirely fair to this book because this book is the first book. That being said, our protagonist is Selena Sardothian, and I've already kind of made the connection of Selena and then Aelin. I have no idea who Aelin is, but I'm assuming they're connected. And like she's fine. I don't like her as much as I like Bryce Quinlan from Crescent City, but I like her a little bit better than Feyre. And I like Feyre well enough, so like that's a compliment. And then she's in a love triangle with Cal, Chaol. Cal. I don't have the pronunciation guide. I know there is one, but I'm just kind of going for it. And I actually like Cal for her just because I like that whole defrosting ice king and queen thing happening. And I feel like he's the less obvious choice. And when Pharaoh went for the obvious love interest choice, that did not go well for her. So go with the captain of the guard, Selena, please. That being said, someone has already made a move in this love triangle, and it wasn't Cal Westfall. It was Dorian Havillard. Havillard? It was Dorian. And like he seems nice, but also like the first love interest in Akatar was not nice. So I don't trust him. But this is when I got to put my like multiverse thinking cap on because so this is Dorian, and I was very careful looking for this picture because I kept seeing him with like a blonde woman. So I guess he and blonde girl on the cover are endgame. But this is Rizan. They're like doppelgangers, and this is Rune Danon. Like they're all basically like the copy and paste the same dude. Rune even gets with a blonde, but like they're basically the same dude, right? Like they just are. But like the thing is, they're different personality wise, and they're different in the amount that I like them. Like I Dorian's all right. I love Rune Danon, and Rizand is now is not the time for Rizand slander. So I don't really know how the book is going to end. I'm not really like I'm kind of along for the ride. I like Nehemia, I like Selena, and like the relationship with Knox and all that stuff. My thing is that I've seen a lot of memes for Throne of Glass, and I don't understand them. But a lot of the characters that are in those memes are not here. So where are they? Where are they? I'm gonna go finish the book now. Yo, I finished the book. I have thoughts. So I want to talk about Fruits Basket for a second because I just started watching Fruits Basket. And my thing about the love triangle in Fruits Basket is that orange haired guy, like cat guy, God, his name is Kyo. Kyo and Toru have better conversations, but Yuki and Toru have better chemistry. And that's what I noticed here. Kale or Kale and I don't know. I'm just going to pronounce it however I see fit. Kale and Selena have better conversations, but Dorian and Selena have better chemistry. And it actually seems like we're going to have like a little shippy shakeup here where Kale and Selena are going to have like some moments in Crown of Midnight because like he seems like he understands her a little bit better than Dorian does. I feel like Dorian's really idealizing her in a way that like dude, she's an assassin. She works for your dad as an assassin. Like, you didn't think she was going to kill people? And this is when I gotta say something about the sneak peek at the back of Throne of Glass for Crown of Midnight, where no, she's not killing people. What? Like, that's a choice to have your protagonist do. Like, what? Like, Dorian's like influence in her life alone made her realize that killing is wrong. Ew. And this is where I discovered kind of my personal romance trope that just gets me. I like it when dudes give their girls knives. I noticed this during Akatar, but I think now that he has given her a sword and then she didn't take it and then he was cool with it, there's a pattern going on in the dudes that I like in these Sarah J. Maas books. Like, I still think they were fumbled because Lucian gave her a knife so she could go track the Sorial. And then she still got with Tam Tam. Like, why did she do that? And then Asriel and Elaine, like when Asriel gave Elaine Truth Teller a knife that he had not allowed anyone to touch for 500 years, including Moore, the woman that he's been obsessed with for however long. I audibly gasped. Like, I did not care about any sex scene in any of the books. I was here for him physically handing her that knife. And also, she didn't take the knife. She took her friend's weapon, and he was still cool with it. Like, A plus. So I'm gonna start chronicling this. I'm excited. I'm making another one of these. I'm making two in one day. I'm only 10 chapters, I'm like 11 chapters in, and I have thoughts. So, first, we have the first mention of Aelin in this story. And I would think that Aelin and Selena are two different people. But she just spoke to a doorknob and she gave the doorknob her name. And then the doorknob laughed at her. And at first I was like, I like the doorknob. I'd like to see more of it. But now I'm like, Selena and Aelin are the same person, aren't they? And I feel like I should have known because like Selena, like this person on the cover of Crown of Midnight, does look very similar to the Aelin that I see on like TikTok memes when I'm like trying to avoid them so I don't get spoiled for for this series. That being said though, I don't know what that means for Selena and Cal and Kale. I don't know what that means because I ship Selena and Kale and I feel like it because if I remember correctly from the what little memes from what memes that I have seen that I do not understand, Aelin is mated to a dude named Rowan, but there is no Rowan. So if Selena is Aelin, then I have to assume that but then I have to assume that Kale is Rowan. But Kale's fan art, like the one bit of fan art that I've seen of Kale so far, doesn't look like what I've seen of Rowan, which is admittedly very little. But if Selena and Kale are Aelin and Rowan, why is Dorian just Dorian? And are these people humans? In my I've pictured them like as humans, but there's mating bonds? What? In other news, Dorian is being a little bit jealous. Kale is being a little bit jealous. I really like Archer Finn. I love Nehemia. I need to see more of her. I like the whole friendship between Selena and Nehemia. I really hope that Selena isn't Aelin, but I feel like she is Aelin, which fine, I'll deal. And I also just Kale, Selena, just kiss each other. Just hand each other knives and kiss each other. Like, come on, man. I'm gonna keep reading, but I'm here for this series. I also like this series because there's no spice in it. It's just a fantasy novel. It's just a fantasy novel. Yay! So I finished part one of Crown of Midnight, and all of my dreams have been dashed. Every single one. So I finished this book, and I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say at this point. So, the first thing I'm going to say is that this book is miles above the first one. Miles. So many miles. Stratospheres above the first one. The second thing I'm going to say is I freaking knew she was Aelin. I knew it. Like, of course she was Aelin. Of course she was. And I would say this is predictable and whatnot, but this is a Sarah J. Maas book. This is now, for me, the third main character who's destined to be queen of something. So, points for consistency. That being said, I'm actually kind of happy about this because if Selena is Aelin, that means my theory that Cal is this mysterious Rowan is that much better and that much more plausible. And honestly, the more that I think about it, I don't think it's a theory. I think that Selena is Aelin because we know this now, and that Cal is eventually going to become Rowan because everybody in this world, everybody in this country has like magic glamoring powers on them, and they're not able to use their magic or able to access it. And when they leave this world, they are able to, which is why Selena was able to access her Fey turn or whatever. This would also explain why Dorian gets to stay Dorian, because Dorian doesn't have like a secret Fey identity, because Dorian is a son of the king and therefore exempt from this whole magic deception, like the mask thing. Like, I, there's like a word for it, like a gias or something like that. I didn't pronounce that right, but you know what I'm getting at. As for like the memes that I've seen of Throne of Glass, at least so Rowan is accounted for because Rowan is Cal, and then Selene and Aelin is accounted for because Selena is Aelin, and Dorian is Dorian. But then there's other names that I don't know about, so I guess they're coming later. And speaking of Cal and Aelin here, or Rowan and Aelin, or Cal and Selena, depending on, we're gonna go with Cal and Selena right now. Those are their names. If these two aren't endgame, I'm gonna freak out because he's the second love interest, and we all know that like the Akatar of it all has taught me that the second love interest is the proper love interest. And what's more, if a love interest is not telling the main girl the whole truth, that is okay by Sarah J. Maas standards because Rizand exists, and he didn't do anything nearly as bad as Rizand. So if they don't get together because of that, and Feyre, this is not an Akatar rant. I'm gonna read Air of Fire now. Yay! It's me. I'm Selena. In all seriousness, though, I'm reading Air of Fire. I am halfway through it. I just got to the second part of the book, and I'm annoyed. And would you like to know why I'm annoyed? I'm annoyed because it's the same book. Air of Fire and Akamath and A Court of Silver Flames are all the same book. Oh, is your book about a slightly overpowered heroine who is destined for greatness, who has a training arc with an older man who also has trauma and a lofty destiny all his own? Which book did I describe? Like, I like Selena well enough, but the parts of Air of Fire where I'm having the most fun are the parts of the book that she is not in. Like, do I want to see Kale working with Edion more than I want to see Selena bonding with yet another dude during a training arc? Yeah! Yes, I do! And speaking of Kale and Rowan, I have to concede this. I think I was hoping on some level that Kale would turn into this guy, Rowan. But the fact that Rowan and Kale are in two different countries, having important plot lines, I have to concede that they're two different people, which means that Kale and Selena are not endgame. And this is the man that was described to me in the memes. Sad. That being said, though, I'm getting more Throne of Glass memes now, and I still have no idea what this man did wrong. Like, he's fine. Like, he's just fine. Like, he's great. Like, I love him. But I don't, like, if there is a template trap here, I absolutely fell into it. Absolutely. I mean, repeated plot lines aside, I actually liked this book. It could have been a lot better. It could have been a lot better had there not been like a training arc and like another much older dude with trauma and like a fairy look, whatever. That being said though, this couple eats me alive. I love them so much. This is like the absolute winner of the side plots to me. I love them. I need the best read the rest of Air Fire now. Yay. This book is the most frustrating book I have I've read in a really long time. It's definitely the most frustrating to me of the Sarah J. Maas books. And the thing that frustrates me about Airfire is that I liked everything about this book except for the main plot line. Like like everything with Selena and Rowan and like Doranel and all that. I'm sitting there and I'm just like, oh, this would be super great if I read this before Akamath, before Court of Silver Flames. It's literally it's literally sans serif Akamath. That's what it is. It's Akamath in a different font. And what really, really, really sucks about that is that this book is first. This book just has the the detriment of being read last. Like instead of having, another training arc with another handsome Fey man, we could have had more time with Manon Blackbeak. Like my favorite character so far. I love her so much. Like her storyline had nothing to do with the actual plot. And I'm sitting here like, can I please give me more like Wyvern Rider goodness, please. I need that in my life. Or, Dorian. Dorian and Short Scotia or whatever her name. This hurt. This genuinely hurt me. Uncool. Uncool Airfire. I also kind of need to see more of this guy. Edion was like one of my favorite parts of this book. I really enjoyed it. Also, the man, the myth, the legend. I really like this character. I really don't want him to be the Tam Tam. That being, I don't want him to be the Tamlin like at all. Like that would really suck. The problem is that I understand now why him and Selena aren't endgame because he loves Selena, but Selena isn't Selena. Selena is Aelin, and I don't think he could love Aelin. Also, I might have been wrong about Rowan and Aelin being mates. I might have just misunderstood the memes that I was seeing because apparently they're not mates. There's something called Caranam, and that really makes me think of Elaine and Lucian. So are Elaine and Lucian actually mates? Or are they Caranam? Like, are they like together the way that Aelin and Rowan are together? I'm out of time, but I do think I need to think more about the mating bonds in this book and how they work with Akatar. Guys, I have a confession to make. I'm not having a good time right now. Okay, so I started Queen of Shadows a couple weeks ago, and this was and I needed like a little bit of a break. So I read The Fourth Wing because everybody's reading The Fourth Wing, and I happened to hear about The Fourth Wing like 2 days before everybody heard about The Fourth Wing, and I liked it. It was good. It's cool. We love violence. And then I was like, all right, my palate has been thoroughly cleansed. Let me go and read Queen of Shadows now. My palate has not been cleansed. And the issue that I'm having with Queen of Shadows is the same issue that I had with Air of Fire. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't see it. This man gives me the ick. I am icked out by this man. Like, he's mean. He's really mean. And he's not mean in the way that, like, Rizand is mean. And I'm actually comparing Rizand to a character positively. That shows how much I do not like this. But what's worse, though, is that I don't believe Aelin and Rowan's love story or whatever. Like, we start like the first book, Throne of Glass, is all about her and Dorian, and then we had her and Cal, like the superior couple, and then Air of Fire rolls around, and then we get this guy being mean to her like a bunch, and then they have like what seems to be like a platonic connection when he becomes her Caranam, and now like they're flirting and like there's one bed trope everywhere. And to continue with my blasphemy a little bit here, I don't think she's that interesting, guys. Like, I want to like her like so badly, and I do think that she is like likable. But I think after Akatar and then after CC, we've we've done this a lot, and I'm tired. That being said, I am open to learning more about her and having more of an open mind about liking her character and really being invested in her journey because she was written first. The only reason I'm tired of her is because I got to her last. That being said, though, this is the main character we deserve. This is the main character that I want. Every moment where she is not on the page is a wasted page for me. I love her. She's new, but I also really like her, and I think maybe it's the Manon proximity here, but I really really like her, and I want to see more of her. Speaking as somebody who was a huge fan of Game of Thrones and loves the weak storyline, this man is carrying. Honestly, guys, I'm tired. The only reason why I want to keep going is because I know there's a book about him. Like, help me. Help. I am finally ready to talk about this book because I finished it on the way to Japan. It's been a little bit, but I have thoughts. So the first thing I will say about this book is that it picked up significantly around the point that I was ready to give up on it. I don't know if it was because it was just me on a 14-hour flight and my husband was sleeping, but I got through it with relatively little trouble. My problem with this book, like, Aylin just knows everything, doesn't she? Like, I love it when female characters are powerful, when they are doing their shit, when they are winning. But it sort of felt like this book, everything was designed for Aylin to win. Like, and I didn't love that. Like, of course everybody loves her. Like, she's so ridiculously powerful. She's almost all-knowing. When she was Selena, she was a person. When Aylin's on the page, she's not a person. She's a god. Also, I say again, he still icks me out, but whatever. We're stuck with him, so it is what it is. Like, let me say something nice about him. I like his loyalty. I like that. I don't think he's a liar. I think he's mean, but I think he's less mean now. But I feel like he's not less mean organically. He's less mean because the book needed him to be less mean. The book needed a non-Kale love interest. So this man appeared. This man who is, like, super hopelessly in love with her, but also, like, it felt like it came out of nowhere. And I feel like it probably didn't. Apparently I have enemies to lovers blindness. I read The Cruel Prince the whole trilogy like a few weeks ago, and I there was a lot of like Carden Jude stuff I just wasn't picking up on, so maybe there are just some things that I'm missing. But like I'll deal, but this is no Selena and Cal, sorry. You know what I don't have to deal with though? You know who I am dying to see win? This man. This man right here. He broke out of demonic possession to flirt with Manon. It was beautiful. And I love Manon and I love Dorian. So I want the whole book to be about them now. Like, please. Also, if I've said once, I've said it 1,000 times. This is my favorite character in the series. She is amazing. The fact that the series is not about her is a travesty. I would take 1 billion books about her over like one more book about Aylin. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll say it. She's amazing. I feel like with Edion, there's not a whole lot to say, but like, I like him. He's cool people. I'd like to see more. And honestly, he's also a person. And I don't want to say I'm rooting for him over Aylin because I feel like that's stupid. Like, it's Aylin's story, obviously. But I like him. I want to see more of him. This woman, what a queen. What? God, we love her. She's awesome. I actually go so far as to say I like every female character better than Aylin at this point. I know, it's blasphemy, but it's true because they're people. And, like, Lysandra is a person. Manon is a person. Aylin is a god. So the next book is Empire of Storms, which I already have in my possession. I also picked up Tower of Dawn because Tower of Dawn was on sale for like $3. So I was like, hell yeah, I'll pick it up. It's my understanding that Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn happen simultaneously, which means, like, am I gonna have to go through a whole book without finding out what happens to Cal or Kale after all that crap that happened to him in Queen of Shadows? Are you kidding me? Also, I will defend this man to the grave at this point. This man has done nothing wrong. I have no idea what he did. What did he do? Someone tell me. All in all, this book was good. I liked it better than Heir of Fire, but it's still no Crown of Midnight. Let's see if Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn do better. I'm gonna read them like straight through. I'm not gonna tandem read, so I'm gonna do Empire of Storms, then Tower of Dawn, and we'll go from there. I'm like walking and talking. I'm so sorry. Anyway, off I go. I gotta go read some books.